We have officially received all of the Ninjago 2025 content, officially speaking, and I'm gonna be honest, it was a very solid year. Now, I do want to do a Ninjago 2025 year review, and that is going to come later down the line, but as of now, we are now looking towards what is the next year when it comes to Ninjago, and what 2026 holds for us fans. And I do also hope this opens up a conversation amongst the community. I would like to know what everyone is hoping for when it comes to Ninjago 2026, because I'm gonna be honest, it's looking fairly bright for the most part, and I want to do a video where I talk about all the major things we will be getting next year. And like I said, I want to know your opinion on it as well. So that is going to be what I talk about today, my hopes, my predictions, and honestly I just want to talk about what I would like to see when it comes to the next year of Ninjago, because like I said, I do think there is a really good bounce off point, and I do think next year could be one of the greatest because of it. The first thing I want to talk about in this instance is of course the sets. We're going to be getting of course our standard releases when it comes to Dragon's Rising, and also because next year is the 15th anniversary, we should be getting additional sets on top of it. Now, there have been leaks, and I don't really want to talk about what has been leaked because LEGO absolutely detests it when someone does that. So, if you do know what the leaks are, for what we do know, I do think there are some very solid looking sets, but I want to talk about things that not exactly are known. In terms of what actually is going to relate to Dragon's Rising itself, I do hope next year we get more sets that are not exactly vehicle based. Dragon's Rising has definitely leaned more into different vehicles, dragons for example, and the occasional set that is actually a location, but I do honestly hope we get more locations in the sets next year. Like I said, it's not like we go completely without, because we do actually get them. We got the Temple of the Dragon Cores, we got the Dragonian Storm Village, and we have gotten other ones, or bigger ones more specifically, like the City of Temples. And I'm gonna be honest, those are all absolutely fantastic sets. But I will say, personally speaking, I do hope we still get a little more, because it seems to be that we average maybe one per wave. And I do think there are some absolutely fantastic locations within Ninjago that are definitely worthy of a set for themselves. The main things that do come to mind, honestly, it could be time for another monastery. I do think it would be nice because it has been about 6 years, or as of next year it'll be 7 years, since we actually got a monastery, and more specifically having one that incorporates the merge, having one that has more of the natural elements that we see, have ones that have more references to Dragon's Rising. Honestly, it would be really cool to actually have that be a thing. So I do think it would be nice to actually get another monastery, if not for Dragon's Rising, at least for the 15th year anniversary. Another fairly major location from recent Dragon's Rising that I do think would be cool as a set in this example would actually be the forge that Raz uses to make a Source Dragon icon. Have that set have more incorporated underworld themes. It would be a great way to get the underworld back into a Ninjago set. You could then include Cruncher and Knuckle. There are a lot of really good opportunities when it comes to a set like the forge. I do think it's a fantastic idea. Do I think it would happen? No, not really. It depends really if Raz goes back to that location in Dragon's Rising Season 4. But when it comes down to it, I do think conceptually speaking, it would be really nice. And honestly, like I said, just incorporates more of the non-vehicle based sets. Although ironically, there is one hope when it comes to the sets next year that kind of goes against this entire point, and that is the modular Ninjago sets that we have been getting. Of course, it started off in the movie and it has gone through till recent day, the most recent one being the workshop. And honestly, I'm kind of hoping we don't get one of those next year, because they also use it as an opportunity to incorporate a lot of new Ninjago minifigures, which is great conceptually, but it also does lock a lot of minifigures that people want behind a very high price point. It definitely just feels like an instance where these bigger sets are also being used as a way to incorporate these more sought after minifigures from earlier in the show, and for that reason I do like it, but I just simply think it's kind of time for the modular sets to be put to the side. I think we've had a handful of really good ones, but I think it's officially getting to the point where we don't really need much more. I would much rather it be replaced with a CMF. Speaking of them, in terms of the 15th anniversary sets, I think it's no better time than to actually have a Ninjago CMF that is based on the show itself. LEGO know for a fact that the fans want a Ninjago CMF. It is no unheard of concept whatsoever. The only time we got it was for the movie, but people are dying for one when it comes to the show itself. And I do think the 15th anniversary is the perfect opportunity to do so. There is no better time than to do a CMF series than now. I think 2026 is the perfect opportunity to do so. Apart from that, I really don't think LEGO would do it if they don't do it next year. But I'm hoping someone at LEGO is seeing the opportunity that they have, because I think a Ninjago CMF will not only be fantastic, I also think it would sell extremely well, especially if there are solid minifigures in there. And if the modular sets are anything to go off of, I do honestly think they could do some fantastic things with it. But again, that is me being very hopeful. But continuing on the point of 15th anniversary sets, I'm really hoping the sets that we do get are not essentially Legacy 2. I really want a Legacy continuation that is no stranger whatsoever, but I do also think that it's not really the opportunity to do a second version of Legacy. I do think for the most part, the 15th anniversary set should just hold on their own under the branding of just the Ninjago 15th anniversary, and I do think it would do fairly good at that. Having it not be Legacy would just give it the opportunity to do a lot more interesting things. Like I said, we have had two things leak, which I don't exactly want to talk about because, like I said, they are leaks. But the thing is that what we do know so far are really fantastic, and I hope they do stick to the theme that they seemingly have got going. And it just means I just hope for more stuff along those standards. And I'm going to be honest, if it's under the brand of Legacy, I don't think it will happen. But on overall, when it comes to the category of sets for next year, I do think there's a lot of really good opportunity and a lot of fantastic chances when it does come to what they could release. Whether or not they capitalize on it, I don't know. But I think the sets honestly could be fantastic next year, and I do have a lot of hope. The second category for next year I did want to talk about is the additional media that we are going to be getting. I think 2026 is definitely going to be the year for Ninjago external media, and honestly, there seems to be a lot of great stuff when it comes into it. Next year, we are confirmed to be getting this new comic that actually focuses on the Serpentine War. It seems to be expanding on that area of Ninjago, and I think a lot of people are definitely very excited for that to be the case. I think honestly it could be one of the best external medias that we've ever had with Ninjago. I think this comic has the perfect opportunity to expand on a lot of different characters that we have definitely wanted to have expanded on. I think it's a perfect opportunity when it comes to the show itself and expanding its lore, so I really do hope they deliver on it. I'm going to be honest as well, I have no worry whatsoever when it does come to the comic, because Ninjago comics are really consistently good. I'd be very shocked if it wasn't good, because I don't think there is a bad Ninjago comic. The Garmadon comics are great, the Dark Island trilogy is great. I think honestly, they have done nothing but hit when it comes to their comics. So honestly, I don't have much to say on it, because I am completely confident. The other thing that we hopefully are getting, and it seemingly has been confirmed, is more stuff under the brand of Ninjago Legends. Of course, this year was the year that we got Ninjago Monstrosity, and that was huge. A lot of people really like it, a lot of people love the tone, the animation, everything about it has been fairly universally praised. So, next year I'm hoping they continue to deliver on this streak of Ninjago Monstrosity content. My only hope is that they truly do expand on it. I hope they really take advantage of what they've set up, and I hope they really go into the idea and really don't hold back when it comes to the concept. I hope that honestly, it just turns out as good as Monstrosity did. I have every hope that they're going to, but I'm definitely a little bit worried because now people are hoping for essentially the next Ninjago Monstrosity, and I really hope that pressure doesn't get to them. But again, in similar vein to the comics, I just have no worry whatsoever when it comes to Monstrosity. I think it's in a fantastic place. I think Monstrosity this year was amazing, and I even liked Kai's Monstrous Adventure more than most. So I do think it's in good hands. I do hope Monstrosity, or Legends in general, does expand into the other ninja as well. Not to lose sight of the Kai stuff, because that's the main thing I want to see expanded on more, but more just like I said, to just really expand the roster and really show Ninjago in this different tone, this different light, this new style, and honestly, just the overall vibe that Monstrosity was giving us. It is absolutely fantastic, and I do hope 2026 takes advantage of it like it seemingly has been implied. The only other thing I guess in terms of external media is honestly just the case of what we have when it comes to the community. I mean, a big source of information currently within Ninjago is Doc Wyatt on Blue Sky. I think he does a fantastic job doing what he does. I'm so glad he hasn't gotten sick of the Ninjago community, to be honest with you, and I really do like the information that he does give us, because it does give us a very interesting light on everything that we have had when it comes to the show. So it would be nice if we do continue to learn all these interesting facts through Doc. I do think he does a fantastic job at it, and I do hope he doesn't get burnt out anytime soon, because especially with the new expanding horizon of Dragon's Rising, and especially in the position it's in, where we may actually be getting towards more of the end of some of the mysteries in Dragon's Rising, I do think it could be the perfect time to learn more from him. I just hope that the Ninjago community doesn't annoy him. But that, for the most part, is the external media of Ninjago for next year. I have a lot of hope, I have a lot of faith. Honestly, it's the one thing I wanted to talk about the least, because I think it's in the safest hands. And last but certainly not least is the thing I think a lot of people were wondering about, and it's my hopes for Dragon's Rising Season 4. Both Part 1 and Part 2, to be honest with you. And I'm going to be honest, this is definitely the category that has the most when it comes down to it. Season 3 on an overall has definitely been very divisive for the Ninjago community. I do think Season 1 and 2 of Dragon's Rising has definitely been very good when it comes to bringing the community together. They were both mostly loved. Of course, nothing's ever 100%, but I do think the overall consensus is that those two seasons are very good. But Season 3 has definitely had a lot of people disagreeing on the overall quality, and I do think that's a shame to see, because we were on such a good run when it comes to Dragon's Rising. So my main hope above all else, and in the most general sense possible, is that we get away from this nosedive and Season 4 is a season that truly brings together the community once again. In terms of the specifics, of course, how many more seasons of Dragon's Rising has definitely been brought up. Of course, we've had some indication to believe that it may actually be coming to an end relatively soon. The main indication of that is, of course, Jay, who we now know was on Act 2 of his story in Season 3. So it implies that on an overall, Ninjago Dragon's Rising is probably going to be coming to an end within the next season or two. Of course, there will be definitely something after that, but the umbrella term of Dragon's Rising, I do officially, is coming round to a close. So I do hope Season 4 is the beginning of the solving of the mysteries. I do hope it's not all crammed into, say, its final season, whether that's a 5th season or a 6th season, I don't know. But I do hope Season 4 does begin to tackle some of the bigger questions that we have got. I honestly hope that this is the season where we get answers for Wu. I think it does make sense considering it seems to be that he's coming back into the story. I do hope we start to get more indication on who Raz's master is, and I do think all those kind of mysteries should start to become more apparent. Does that mean everything should be solved next year? No, not at all. I think the Dragon's Rising Mysteries has been one of the best things that we've had, and it's definitely been theory fodder for me in particular. But I do hope that it does start to really give us more of an inclination on how the conclusion will actually occur. In terms of then just broader season things, I hope Season 4 truly does take advantage of this powers on the Fritz arc. I do think implying that the ninja may not have their powers or have very limited access to them could be a very interesting plot point, and it's definitely something I hope isn't just being thrown away when it does come to it, because Dragon's Rising has done that a couple times so far. It's just I hope that they don't do it when it comes to this instance. I hope certain characters are taken advantage of in Season 4. I do hope we actually get more Cole. I hope Zane does make his return, and I hope all the groups that all the other ninja are in really take advantage of the dynamics. I do think there's a lot of opportunity for the dynamics we have. Lloyd and Aaron are going to have a lot of talking to do, and I do hope they really take advantage of that. Jay, Nia, and Kai all being together does have some opportunity for some very fun moments, especially if the theory of the In the Land of Monsters is true, and the whole thing of all the new ninja apart from Aaron being together is also a very good opportunity. I hope they don't go down more of a stereotypical route of all the new ninja worrying or panicking because they haven't got the old ninja with them. I just hope it really takes the advantage and really gives us time to shine. As for non-ninja related characters, I hope Raz continues to be as fantastic as he has been so far. I hope they really start to lean in on his endgame. I hope they really start to lean in on what his true plan is, and I really hope that he just continues to be the absolute menace that he has been so far. It goes without saying that he's one of the best characters in Dragon's Rising, and I just hope Season 4 doesn't slow down with that whatsoever. I hope the villains of Season 4 aren't as disappointing as Thunderfang and the Forbidden Five. I hope they really get their backstories, their motivations, and everything that we love when it comes to some of the best villains in the show. I hope that we do get some really good opportunities for some great villains in Season 4, because at the minute, it does almost feel like we're in a good villain drought. Of course, we have got Raz, but because he's taking a little more of a back seat, it does feel like we need something good again. I think we need a new big bad, something truly menacing for the ninja to go up against, and I do hope Season 4 gives us something like that. And above all else, I just simply hope Dragon's Rising just just continues on the fantastic pace that it had. Like I said, Season 3 definitely has got its bumps, it definitely has got its issues, and I think honestly, and with a lot of hope, the Ninjago team have acknowledged that there are a couple flaws with Season 3, and I hope they take advantage of that knowledge and really put it into the improvement of Season 4, and I do hope the season has a lot of really good going for it. I hope it really does strike a good balance with all these new teams and all these new characters, and really gives us a story that involves truly everyone and incorporates everyone in some way. In similar vein to what I said in my character problems video, I don't need every single character to have a plot life altering season. I just simply want something for all the ninja to do, and something for all the characters to actually take advantage of. I just don't want anyone sidelined this time round, and I do hope the new situation that they're all in really does take advantage of that without feeling almost overwhelmed or having certain teams feeling almost neglected. But I honestly do have hope for Dragon's Rise in Season 4. I really do think that it's going to come round and be a good season. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I will definitely talk about that at the time. But I do have faith when it comes to the Ninjago team, because we definitely know what they are capable of. I can acknowledge the snags of Season 3 in both Part 1 and Part 2. But I also am not mad at those seasons and overall, I just do think they needed some improvement. But I do think it's truly going to be a case of Season 4 will be an improvement on Season 3. I have complete faith in them, I do honestly trust what they're doing, and I just hope that we get to see the fantastic story that they have no doubt been crafting over all these years. But those are my hopes, my thoughts, and my theories when it does come to the next year of Ninjago. I do hope 2026 is a fantastic year, really give the 15th anniversary a memorable feel, and I hope it's really good all year round. I just really do think that there is a prime opportunity for a fantastic year when it comes to Ninjago. Whether or not it will actually happen, of course we will have to wait and see. But I do have faith in the people who are running Ninjago behind the scenes, and I do think they can deliver us a fantastic year when it does come to Ninjago. If it doesn't get leaked again! But that is about it for today, you guys, and thank you very much for watching. And like I said at the start of the video, please let me know what your thoughts, what your hopes and your theories are for Ninjago 2026. I would love to get this discussion started, because the year is looking hopefully bright when it does come to Ninjago, because there's a lot there set up, and there's a lot of opportunity for a lot of great things for the 15th anniversary. But like I said, that is about it for today, you guys, and take care. Okay,